Hi, I'm Ariel Pozwowski, Customer Support Lead and Solutions Architect with Algo. We are here today to discuss our line of IP paging adapters. We'll go into applications, use cases, and features a little bit. Before we get into it, I'll just quickly introduce them. That's our 8305 multi-interface IP paging adapter, our known and trusted 8301 IP paging adapter and scheduler, and our 8373 IP zone paging adapter. That said, first thing we need to discuss is what is a paging adapter, right? So a paging adapter is primarily used to bridge analog infrastructure with IP systems, specifically IP unified communication systems, right? We're mostly talking about an IP phone system here, while this does open the door for integration to other IP environments, right? And we'll get into the connectivity piece here in a bit. The way they do it is they provide an analog output to your existing legacy infrastructure, right? That is, in many cases, a traditional amplifier, could be some sort of analog zone controller or an analog communication system. So each one of them, there's a reason for each and every single one to exist, and we'll quickly talk about that and where they fit, where they do not fit. As far as power goes, these are PoE powered endpoints, regular PoE. They go into your network. As you can see, you have our NRJ45 here on all three. And they're SIP compliant endpoints, like I said, right? Besides that, they offer a RESTful API, so that does allow quite a bit of integration to different network-related applications, customizing, different actions and building a custom solution that doesn't necessarily involve the unified communications in the SIP space, right? While it can, of course. They do have a relay input as well and output, so that lets you connect physical accessories into these devices, external systems, devices, fire alarm panels. There's different options. We're talking about a relay input and output here. The last piece to these is, of course, the multicast capability that these offer, meaning you can easily scale your solution to any number and combination of endpoints. Whether this is a system that is very basic and all you have is one of those paging adapters and you do not need multicast, or you have multiple paging adapters because there's multiple legacy communication systems you're connecting to and you wish to communicate across all of them simultaneously, then we're talking multicast. Or whether we're talking about a hybrid environment where you have your analog infrastructure driven by one of these here, along with IP speakers, IP visual alerters, and other products, IP endpoint products that we offer. That said, let's get into the specifics here. So start with the 8301 here in the center. So the 8301 IP paging adapter and scheduler addresses paging needs, alerting needs, right? I'm talking pre-recorded alerts, loud ringing, night bells, if there is a need for amplifying an incoming ring event, right? If there's a phone in a noisy environment and the staff on the floor in the warehouse, let's say, cannot hear the phone ringing, this could be used for loud ringing applications tied into your phone system. And alerting as well, of course. When you talk alerts, we are talking pre-recorded alerts, whatever nature, whatever situation that those alerts are meant to address, that's entirely up to the user. It is customizable, right? The last piece to this is, of course, the scheduler that lives in this device. It does let you automate announcements through a calendaring application. We're talking about a graphical user interface here, very simple to set up. You create your events, you assign it to your calendar, and you automate your shift breaks if we're talking about the manufacturing facility and whatever type of announcements you need to automate, whether it's one time a day or multiple times a day, you have a scheduler built in right here. Other than that, you have your audio outputs here. Most commonly, you're going to be using a terminal block line output. That's a 600 ohm configurable, I should say, but traditionally 600 ohms line level output, right? Whether impedance is configurable, it's a line level output. So this is going to connect into your standard amplifier, and you're looking into a page port, a line level port, or something like this on the amplifier, right? There's different outputs on it as well. They all drive the same level. These are just different terminals. So for instance, you'll see a mini XLR here. This would be used instead of the terminal block line output here. Moving on to the 8305, similar capabilities, right? So paging, alerting, loud ringing, and the scheduler lives in here as well, right? What's interesting about this device though is that it lets you bridge the connection to a legacy communication system. And now we're not talking exactly an amplifier. While an amplifier may be part of that system, it's not an amplifier per se. It's a bigger, generally proprietary, closed up system. And these will have an admin phone, an analog admin phone. So this device here, it does have a few different outputs as well, but primary application for it is to bridge the connection to those legacy communication systems. You have this phone output port here. This emulates an analog phone, right? In other words, it provides an FXO output and it connects into an FXS port on the far end. Couple other ports here, but this is the bulk of it. And last but not least, the 8373 terminals are going to look quite a bit different here. And the main application here is to integrate with with amplifiers as well, standard analog amplifiers. The difference is this is going to let you zone out your amplifier, right? So we're going to have a line level output coming out of this paging adapter. It goes into the amplifier, your 70 volt, 100 volt output where you normally have your analog speakers connected. The high voltage output is connected back into this device. So it has high powered relays. It's going to be able to switch that voltage out to channel 1, 2, or 3. This is where you're going to be connecting your speakers, right? So it lets you create 3 channels. These channels can be used independently, one at a time, or in combination. Channel 1 and 2, 2 and 3, and so on and so forth. Applications, again, similar. With this device here, you may need to pair, if you're looking for a scheduling application, for instance, you may need to pair it with an 8301, for instance. But it can do quite a bit on its own, and it can be paired together to make even more out of it. Last piece to address here is just a common deployment of an 8301 that is outside of an analog infrastructure, right? The 8301 in many cases is deployed in a full IP environment, right? I'm talking IP speakers from Algo, visual alerters, whatever combination and number of products you may have. There's a few features that are unique to the 8301. So really, this is a Swiss Army knife, and it can be used in many different settings. For instance, if we're talking about scheduling through your IP endpoints, right, whatever they may be, again, you would need something like this. One of those, and that's it. Whether you have one speaker or 1,000 speakers. And the last piece to this is, of course, being a device that is nice, compact. It can go in a server room, you can lock it up, keep it nice and safe. This brings peace of mind, right? This would be your multicast controller in the environment. It's all set up here. It should be in a closed location, keep it nice and safe. And this is not necessarily always the case. Just to be completely clear, there's reasons sometimes to deploy this or not. But the bigger the deployment, the more something like this will make sense. I hope I was able to demonstrate the capabilities and just shed some light on our line of IP paging adapters. Whether we're talking an application in a school environment, education, manufacturing, healthcare, these devices can fit in all those environments. It just depends on the needs of the customer, their desires and the functionalities they're looking for. That said, thank you for your time. For more information, please visit us at www.algosolutions.com or email us at sales@algosolutions.com. Thank you very much.